John Wayne was more than just a movie star. He was a towering monument of American identity. Known globally as the Duke, he spent 5 decades as the face of rugged individualism and traditional masculinity. But when the curtain finally fell on June 11, 1979, the seats left empty at his funeral spoke as loudly as the eulogies delivered by his friends. In the royal time of Hollywood, we are looking at the complicated legacy of a man who was as polarizing as he was popular, and the 6 Hollywood icons who drew a final line in the sand by refusing to attend his farewell. The rise of a legend, from prop boy to the Duke. Born Marion Robert Morrison in 1907, John Wayne's journey to the stars began with a broken dream. A body-stuffing injury ended his football scholarship at USC, forcing him to take odd jobs at Fox Film Corporation. It was there that he met director John Ford, the man who would shape his destiny. After nearly a decade in B-movie purgatory, Wayne's breakthrough came in 1939 with Stagecoach. As the Ringo Kid, he didn't just play a hero, he defined one. Over 170 films followed, ranging from the morally complex The Searchers to his Oscar-winning turn in True Grit. Wayne became a symbol of the American spirit, but his off-screen persona was equally unyielding. He was a man of firm, conservative convictions who never apologized for his worldview, a trait that would ultimately define his relationships with his peers. A life of passion and turmoil. Off-screen, Wayne's life was a whirlwind of 3 marriages and 7 children. Josephine Saenz, his first wife and mother of 4, whose marriage crumbled under the weight of his rising stardom. Esperanza Chada Bauer, a volatile union marked by public arguments and deep unhappiness. Pilar Palit, his longest marriage, which brought stability for 19 years before an eventual separation. In his final years, Wayne found companionship with his secretary, Pat Stacey, who remained his anchor as he battled the stomach cancer that would eventually claim his life. The empty seats, conviction over ceremony. When John Wayne's funeral was held at Our Lady of the Angels Church in Los Angeles, the attendance list was a who's who of old Hollywood. However, several stars notably declined to show. These were not oversights. They were statements of principle against the man Wayne openly was. Number 1 is Jane Fonda. The ideological gulf between Fonda and Wayne was insurmountable. During the Vietnam War, Fonda became Hanoi Jane, while Wayne was the military's staunchest defender. Wayne once famously remarked of anti-war protesters, "I call it treason." For Fonda, attending the funeral of a man who had publicly condemned her activism was a non-starter. Number 2 is Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando represented the antithesis of everything Wayne stood for. Brando was a fierce advocate for Native American rights and famously used his Oscar win to protest Hollywood's portrayal of indigenous people, a portrayal Wayne helped build. Brando viewed Wayne's westerns as a glorification of genocide. Number 3 is Paul Newman. While less vocal than Brando, Paul Newman was a pillar of liberal activism. He funded progressive causes and supported civil rights, positions that stood in direct opposition to Wayne's 1971 Playboy interview, where Wayne stated, "I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility." Number 4 is Burt Lancaster. Lancaster was an actor who believed in challenging authority, whereas Wayne believed in defending it. A staunch opponent of McCarthyism, Lancaster viewed Wayne as the face of a right-wing Hollywood ideology that he had spent his career fighting against. Number 5 is James Garner. Despite his own military service, James Garner grew disillusioned with the John Wayne version of patriotism. He found Wayne's presence in Hollywood to be bullying and resented the Duke's tendency to equate dissent with disloyalty. Garner once noted that Wayne was a good actor, but a man he simply could not agree with. Number 6 is Harry Belafonte. For civil rights icon Harry Belafonte, Wayne's views on race were impossible to overlook. Wayne had once justified the seizure of the United States from Native Americans, saying, "I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them." To Belafonte, Wayne's fame did not excuse his rhetoric. The end of an era. John Wayne passed away at 72 at the UCLA Medical Center. He was laid to rest at Pacific View Memorial Park, overlooking the California coast he loved. Even in 2026, his legacy remains a battleground of American culture. While millions admire his cinematic contributions, his controversial statements continue to spark calls for the renaming of John Wayne Airport in Orange County. John Wayne once said, "I don't think you should apologize for being who you are." He lived by those words, and the actors who refused to attend his funeral lived by theirs. Their absence was not an act of forgetfulness, but a final act of conviction. How do you feel about John Wayne's legacy today? Should we separate the artist from his personal beliefs, or is the man inseparable from the myth? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the silent divides of the Golden Age, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode.